Hey friends, welcome to our video series Learning Programming in a Different Way. So today we'll be starting off with authentication using Gmail. So just to remind of what we were doing in the last video was we were doing authentication the old or the orthodox authentication manner, where we created a design for this page and then entered the email address and password and then submitted it to launch to our authenticated page. So today we'll be doing the same thing, but we'll be authenticating a user with his Google account. Nowadays normally all these things are very popular because there are so many portals and users cannot just remember all their email addresses and passwords. So these things help quite, and they're much more secure than our traditional login panel. So to create this, first of all, you need to understand few things. So we'll be quickly going over all these things. First of all, for creating login with Google, what we need to do is we need to create a Google project on Google Developer Console, where we'll be creating the project. Then we have to find and enable the Google Plus API, and then we'll be creating the credentials for your application. After doing so, we will be installing the Google Client API, and in that API there are few methods that you need to understand. One is set application name. Set application name is to set the application name that you want to create. Then set client ID. As soon as you will be creating credentials for this, you will be getting client ID, client secret, and you have to choose a redirect URI. So you need, if you want to set the client ID, you need to use set client ID. If you want to use set client secret, then you will be using set client secret, and so on. Add scope. Scope means then you have to add the scope also for this one. Add scope method actually provides the scopes. There are a lot of scopes in Gmail, for Google Drives, for getting the user info emails, for chat applications, and so on. So this will be the first step of our PHP code, where we'll be creating the client request to access Google Plus API. After that, we need to send the client request, and for that we'll be using method Google Service Auth 2. The next step will be authenticating the code from Google OAuth flow, where we'll be using the authenticate method to get the code, and then to filter that code and check whether all the conditions are met or not. Then get access token is actually used to fetch an access token, the secret key that is being sent from Google, and then we can have the additional response parameter from service provider, that will be a Gmail in our case. And whatever access token that we have got from get access token, to set that for our application, we'll be using set access token. And the last thing, that when the authentication is successful, we'll be getting the user info using this method, that is user info get method. So let us quickly start off with the main proceedings. So first of all, to create this thing, you need to go to console.developer. So let me show you the URL. This will be console.developersgoogle.com. in here you can you have to log in with your own Gmail account, the account that you want to be the admin for this one. Here, if you see here on the dashboard, there is something named as enable API. So first of all, you have to enable Google Plus API. So there are a lot of APIs, as you can see over here, for various other applications. Right now our interest is in Google Plus API, so we'll be going over here. So as soon as I get over here, it's asking me to create a project. First of all, as I have not created any project, so let's create a project, and I'll name this project as student management. Student information management. So this is creating my project that I named. Now as soon as I'm done with this, now I can enable this thing. I'll just click on here, it will be enabled. Yeah, it's done. Now get back to the credentials. You need to create credentials, and there are 4 options over here. You need to choose OAuth client ID over here. So OAuth client ID, these are disabled yet, so you need to first of all configure your consent screen. So consent screen is whatever name that your application you like to have. So I would like to have it like this. Homepage URL is optional. If you want to add some logo, you can do it. Most of the things are optional over here, so I won't be writing it anyways. Now it's enabled for me, and I need to create a web application. As soon as I create this application, I can name it some so I'll name it as OAuth. JavaScript origin. In here you have to write the URL of your application. So mine is localhost, so I'll be keeping it as localhost slash. So if I do this, I will be needing this one. Let's see what happens when I write this. So it says you are not allowed to do this, so that means here you just have to write. Let me copy this one hole so that I don't have to write it again. Here just you need to type in the server address. It's optional anyways. If you don't want to write, but if you are writing it, it should be your website name. So if let's say I'm working on Facebook, so it has to be http://www.facebook.com. The most important part over here is this one, the authorized redirect URI, and in my case it will be the location of my page where I want to redirect this API, where it will be taking all the data and I'll be processing that data from that case. So the name of my page is, I have already created one, so the name of my page I'll be writing over here, googleauth.php. So this is done. I'll just create it, and he gives me my client IDs. Now these ones are important, so you can copy it from here or anyways. If you see, these are available now. You are having your client ID over here, and you are having your client secret over here. Now the next step that you need to do is, first of all, you need to have the Google Auth API. That is very important, because on that API only we'll be having all the classes and methods. So for that case, first of all, you need to download a composer. Composer is actually you'll get a FAR file for this one, which helps us install any library of PHP and all their dependencies without any hassle. So I'll show you how you can do this. So first of all, you have to go to this getcomposer.org/download, and here you can directly download this. So I'll be quickly downloading this one. Mine is directly into the directory I want it in this directory to be there. So here it is. I'll just open CMD. Then to download the client library, I have to type in here PHP composer.far require Google/auth. So now what composer.far will do is, it will start downloading the Google Auth whole library from the GitHub, and it will download into my repository over here. So it will start very soon, I hope. Okay, so as soon as we are done with our downloading, you will be getting a screen like this, and here you can see it has auto loaded all the files that installed all the particular libraries, and you can see here we are now having a vendor folder, In this vendor folder we will be having all of our libraries that will be needing for our respective works. So let's get back to the code, guys. I have already created a template for us so that we can save some time. This template start off with the session underscore start to start the sessions. Then we'll be needing all the libraries. We want all our necessary libraries to get loaded, and that is why we have used autoload.php file that is available in vendors. Now next thing is that we need is to set our client properly. We'll be needing our client ID, client secret, and redirect URI. We can get all the three things over here that we have created earlier. So let's copy these three things. First of all, let's copy the client ID. Then we'll be needing our client secret and our redirect URI. Now next thing that we need to do is we need to create our client request to access our Google API. So in that case we need to initialize a class with an object as $client using the class Google client. In this we will be setting our client ID, our client secret, our redirect URI, and add a scope. We can have multiple scopes in our project. If you are working on Google Drive, then you will be having more scopes over here. If you need more information about a user, whatever Google offers you, in that case you will be having more scopes. But for as far as our application right now is concerned, we just need a single scope of user info.email. Next thing is we have created all the data that we need to send to Google. Then we'll be sending it to the Google using Google Service OAuth class. We'll send the whole object over here, and it will return all the data that will be received by Google into object OAuth service. So whatever data Google will be sending us, the user information, that is email, image, and etc., will be stored in object OAuth service. Next thing is, as soon as we send the data to Google, Google responds us with some data, and also in URL it sends a code. It's a long string that is used for authentication that we are receiving the data from the Google server and not from somewhere else. And for that we have checked whether it is the URL is set with code, and if it is set with code, then whatever code has been received by our page will be sending it for authentication purposes. So we'll be using the authenticate method of Google client class. Okay, so when we are done with this, we'll move on and we'll fetch the user information that we have received in OBJ OAuth service using user info method and get helper to get the data. Now we are having the whole object in user data, and we will be first of all printing the user data to see what are the fields that we have received and what we need actually from that data. So let's see over here. So we'll click on login with Google. We have redirected over here, so we have been redirected to our Google page. I'll be adding my email ID. So I've been redirected back to Google auth.php page, if you can see, right? And we have received this is what print underscore as is providing us. If you see, it looks a bit rusty over here, but if you can see, there is an key as email, and it is receiving my email ID. Also it is giving my Google ID, my picture, that if you go to this picture and click over here, you will be having your profile picture, whatever you have added over here. So you can use it for setting it on the user profiles and all. Now what my point of interest over here is key, we need paras.bussy@gmail.com, this email ID that user has sent to authenticate whether the user is a proper user or not, or authenticated user or not. So first of all, let us see how we can print it. So let's try this one. So I'll do this. I'll say whether it gives me or not. Yes, it gives me. So I'm having my email ID over here, and I can use this email ID for my authentication purposes. If you remember, we have written our code of login in our previous video in auth.php, where we have already created a query. So I'll just copy that query and edit that, and I'll use the same code. I'll copy paste the code over here. Just indent it properly so that we can understand the code. So I again need to select star from admin, where username this time will not be username, it will be user data email, and we do not need password because there is no use of password. If the user exists in our database, he has already been authenticated by Google, so we won't anyways we won't be having their password. So now we just need to check whether this user exists in our database or not. Okay, so just remove this one, we don't need this. Rest query I think is okay, and there's nothing to change in this one. We are having the information of the user, and we have already added our user into our admin. So let's quickly see if it works. It says no database selected. That means we have missed to include our config file over here, config.php. Now we have already started the session in config.php, so we won't be starting it over here. Okay, so we are having login success over here. So let's try this once again to see the complete process, whether it is working or not. So I'll be going with login with Google. He has properly signed in. Just for the confirmation, let me log out from my account and we'll log in again. So that we can see that whether the things are properly working or not. So I've just logged out. I'll show you in the later stages how can we use these informations into our portal, like emails, photos. I think the sessions have remained. So anyways, we can just try it in another window. Right now we have not handled the sessions, so the sessions are set and it is giving the access directly, but it won't happen over here because here we are not having any sessions.